morning, dear friends. Welcome to the Sunday service at the One Dharma Center. Please open your eyes and look around. Nature outside. The trees are still. The earth rests gently with the white snow. The world turns inward. We call this winter. Winter invites us to gather our energy within and care for the roots of the mind. At this time of each year, the 교무님s at the One Dharma Center slow their daily activities and enter into a 6-day meditation retreat. This year, 5 Korean, 1 Buddhist practitioners from Chicago Temple, New Jersey Temple, and Dongsuwon Temple in Korea joined in this retreat. And we had this shared practice. So please raise your hands. Show us where you are. Hand up high. So those are the ones. So welcome to our Sunday service. So the retreat program was simple yet profound. So let me give you just outline what we had, enjoyed for those 5-6 days. We had intensive sitting meditation practice besides 5:30 a.m. meditation. So the longest session was about 100 minutes. How does that sound to you? Quite intensive, right? All participants engaged in the practice of lecture, each offering a 7-minute Dharma reflection on Master Chongsan's discourses. Each evening, we had chanting and journaling practice together. Our spiritual guide, Venerable Chuksanim, was always with us. So the retreat ended last night, and as I listened to their sharing at a closing circle, I felt a joyful spirit among us. And I thought that wherever there are sincere practitioners of the Dharma, there is hope and blessings. So this morning, together with them, let us awaken our hearts through bowing practice, sitting and chanting meditation. Today, we'll listen to a Dharma talk from our lay minister, Kathy. So now, please all rise. With your palms together, with your hearts and minds together, let us greet our Buddha, Ilwonsang Buddha, one circle image, which represent the truth of the universe, which tells us there is the truth, which is no beginning and no ending, and the principle of cause and effect. Now please join me in offering 4 bows in standing posture. I bow in gratitude to the grace of heaven and earth, honoring the infinite beneficence of nature and the universe. I bow in gratitude to the grace of parents, honoring the beneficence from parents, ancestors, and all those who have had a nurturing role in my life. I bow in gratitude to the grace of fellow beings, recognizing the truth of interconnectedness. I bow in gratitude to the grace of laws, which guides us, protects us, and promotes justice. Now you may turn to your neighbor Buddha and greet each other. And please remain in standing as our Dharma friend Rami guides us with her Qigong stretching.
Good morning. Let's start by letting the legs relax under the pelvis and maybe shift weight a little bit and give each leg a kick so it can hang from the bony structure of the pelvis. And then we'll settle the feet underneath the hips and take an inhale and reach up. And yawn here. And reach and pull as if you're climbing a rope, letting one lung, one side of the rib cage reach at a time. Let's take one more yawn here. And then we'll relax the arms down. And this time we'll yawn through the right side palate, right ear, right armpit, right elbow crease, right palm. And you can toss the arm on the way down. And then the left side palate, left ear, left armpit, left elbow crease, left palm. And a toss. And then you can give your shoulders a little shake here. And we'll move that down to the pelvis. Little wobble, nice. And then we'll soften the weight into both feet and rock the weight along the length of the foot. So you'll shift your weight from your heels toward your toes, staying relaxed with the whole surface of the foot in contact with the ground. Toes are spread and relaxed, and see if you can shift your weight without grabbing on tightly with the toes. As you rock the weight forward and back, try to stay soft through the rest of your body, floating up through the crown of your head, letting the weight of your body hang and rest into your footprints. And you may start to feel the absence of pressure of the domes of the arches of your feet. So space in the center of the foot where you don't feel pressure. And then we can rock the weight side to side, get a little bit more detail into that space, that shock-absorbing structure. Let's rock the weight around in a circle, around the edges of the feet. Still floating up through the crown, resting the weight down, soft, relaxed joints. And we'll change directions. See if you can feel your breath down in your belly while you do this. We'll make the circles smaller and smaller until you start to feel a vertical column from your feet to the top of your head. Just a little, the circle becomes almost just a vibration through the length of your axis. And then we'll shift the weight to the forefoot, so toward the ball of the feet, the heels get light. And we'll start to gently drum the heels onto the ground, against the ground. And you can feel this kind of drumming, vibrating sensation travel up through the soft tissues and the bone around the feet. And we'll start flicking the hands down. The collarbones, the shoulder blades have weight, the weight of the bone and also the flesh that wraps them can be a bit like a springing hammock feeling or a trampoline of the shoulder blades. Let's let the breath travel through. Two more big breaths. Nice. And then we'll let that go. And with the feet about the same distance, we'll let the pelvis become heavy and sink. And the thigh bones roll open, so they twist open into a little hinge. And then we'll press through the domes of the arches of the feet to rise. So it's a little hinge, just sinking the weight of the pelvis down, keeping the arch of the low back intact, pressing through the arches of the feet to rise. The next time you're in the hinge, let's pause there. Knees are open, take a little bounce. And see if you can allow this bouncing energy of the up and down pressure of the domes of the arches of the feet to travel through your spine like a little wave that expresses all the way up, even through your neck to the top of your head. So you have a little bob of the head, and the heart has its own weight as well. And then we'll press up and feel the heart and the head peel up. So we'll take a few repetitions, sinking the pelvis down and back. The heart sinks, the head sinks. A little round through the upper spine while the lower back arch remains, pressing through the feet to peel up. Down and up. And you may start to feel that on the down and the sinking of the rib cage. It's a nice moment for an exhale. And the press up. A nice moment for the inhale, feeling the collarbones and the lungs open. Let's start to let the arms be led by the heart, down and then up. And you'll find your own pace here. Might start to become a little bit of a swing. Just take care to keep the arch of the low back while you allow a little ripple through the upper spine. You might feel a bounce down and a bounce up through the feet. Maybe a couple big ones. Nice. And you can let that go. So we'll take one more hinge down, and this time we'll get into the transverse plane. Sink into the hinge, fingertips to your collarbones, keeping the pelvis still. We'll twist the heart side to side. And you might find a little bounce into your feet here. Knees pressing open so you can feel your weight in the crescent shape of your footprints. And as you keep the twist going, we'll slowly press up through the feet. And then slowly sink down again. Let's take that 2 more times. And then slowly up to standing. Nice. And you can keep the twist going of the heart here for a moment. Relax the arms and let them swing a bit. Nice. And then we'll let that go. Here we'll step the feet a little bit wider. We'll shift weight into one foot and then into the other foot. And here we'll let the heart and the head have a bit of weight. So we have a cascade side to side. One arm takes over with each swing. There's a reach on the diagonal. See if you can feel the pulse into the domed arch of one foot and then the next. Let the breath move through the body. Nice, and then we'll start to distill that down to something a little bit gentler towards standing. And then we'll take hands to the tops of the thighs and sit back, giving a little weight into your hands to bring yourself into a forward fold. And here, let's let the head go. Give it a little shake no or a nod yes. We'll take the right hand over to the left side, to the shin, the foot, or the floor, and twist to the left, reaching and looking up to the left hand. A nice deep breath here. Keep the fingertips up and let the head pour down through the floor. Breathe into the space behind your left ear. One more deep breath. Shift the left hand all the way to the right side, scooping across. Right fingertips up to the ceiling, reaching, looking, and a deep breath. Keep reaching, pour from the top of your head, and breathe into the space behind your right ear. Let the right arm cycle down and start to find a little wave of your weight side to side here. See if you can keep the arch of your low back intact. And then gently press into your feet to bring one forearm at a time to rest on your thighs, just over the knee. The fingers might touch here. Take a little seat of your tailbone down, keeping the spine long, and press the knees out. Yeah, you don't have to go far. Just a little breath here. And then exhale, bring the tailbone back up. And then from here, we'll find the wave of the weight foot to foot. Give a little push into one side to bring one palm at a time onto the thighs. We're going to keep the wave going and walk the hands up inch by inch up the thighs, really giving a bit of your weight into the hands. Let the spine be soft. Walk all the way up to your hip creases, pouring your weight into your footprints. Nice. Let's take another deep breath here. And then we'll take 3 breaths here with a shrug, inhaling, shoulders up. And take 2 more. And last one. Thank you.
Thank you, Remy. Please now take your seat. Feel free to take your time to adjust your body on your mats or in your chairs. Wiggle yourself side to side, back and forth, to find the perfect, comfortable sitting posture for your sitting practice. This morning, Won Seung-yong, Pete, will give us with the more detailed method of seated meditation.
The method of sitting meditation is simple and easy. Sit comfortably on the floor or in a chair. Breathe in, grab all your tension, and breathe it out. Open up your chest and heart, stretch up tall, and align your spine from your neck to your tailbone. Relax your shoulders and arms. Allow your hands to rest on your knees. Bring your attention to your breath. As you exhale, release all mental and physical tension. Invite your attention to abide in your chi energy field, which is called Tanjan. This is located about 2 inches below your navel and is the power center for your breathing. Open your eyes and gaze downward over the end of your nose and to the floor. Keep your mouth closed and allow the tip of your tongue to rest gently against the roof of your mouth. When your mind is concentrated and calm, pure and clear saliva may gather in the mouth. You may swallow it. Relax your facial muscles and notice your gentle smile. If your face or body begins to itch, do not scratch. This is just a sign of the energy circulating in your body. Simply note the itching and let it pass. If your legs ache unbearably, you may change position very slowly and quietly so that you maintain a calm stillness and do not interrupt others. When thoughts arise in your mind, do not be discouraged or disturbed by them. Simply focus on your breathing without reacting to or playing with those thoughts. Recognize them as thoughts. They will disappear by themselves. And remember, keep bringing your awareness back to your Tanjan breathing center. If you continue practicing meditation for a long period of time, you will rest in the realm of samadhi, deep meditation in which the mind is calm, concentrated, perfectly focused and at peace, with no distinction between self and others, time and place. We are grateful to sit quietly together, finding the still point within. May we be here now, aware of our ever calm and alert spirit.
When it comes to meditation, there are many forms. Now please join me in Sutra Chanting Meditation, pages 4 and 5. Pages 4 and 5. 이런 상va One is the realm of samadhi, beyond words and speech, the gateway of birth and death, transcending being and non-being. Origin of heaven and earth, parents, fellow beings, and laws, the true nature of Buddha's enlightened master, unenlightened people and sentient beings. Still one manifests as both permanence and impermanence, fused as permanence. Still one unfolds into an infinite that is ever abiding, spontaneous, just as it is fused as impermanence. Still one unfolds into infinite worth through cycle of formation, duration, decay, and extinction of the universe, and birth, aging, illness, and death of all beings, according to how we use our minds and bodies in the four forms of birth, through the 6 realms of existence, progressing or regressing with grace, arising from harm or harm from grace. Therefore we unawakened beings vow to practice wholeheartedly, modeling ourselves after Iron's Dharma Kaya Buddha by cultivating our minds and bodies, deeply knowing human affairs, universal principles thoroughly, using our minds and bodies skillfully, thus progressing rather than regressing, and receiving grace rather until we attain the great empowerment of one and become one with the nature of one. Heart Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion, when deeply practicing prajna paramita, realized empty and thus became free from all suffering and distress. So Shariputra, form does not differ from emptiness. Emptiness does not differ from form. Is emptiness. Emptiness is form. The same is true of sensations, perceptions, impulses, consciousness. So Shariputra, all dharmas are empty, they do not appear or disappear. Tainted or pure, do not increase or decrease. In emptiness, no form, no sensations, no perceptions, no impulses, consciousness, no eyes, no ears, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no realm of eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or mind, consciousness, no ignorance, extinction of ignorance, no old days and death, no extinction of them, suffering, no cause of suffering, no cessation of suffering, no path, no wisdom, no attainment, nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva realize prajna paramita. Therefore the mind has no hindrance. Without any hindrance, no fears exist. Free from delusion, one dwells in nirvana. All Buddhas of the past, present, and future rely on prajna paramita and attain supreme enlightenment. Therefore know that prajna paramita is the great mantra, is the great enlightening mantra, is the unsurpassed and unequaled mantra, which is able to eliminate all suffering. This is true enough also proclaim the prajna paramita mantra, which says gone beyond, far beyond. Now awaken gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisattva. Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisattva. Gate gate paragate parasamgate bodhisattva. You may wiggle your fingers and your wrists, your hands, your elbows and shoulders, and your spine, neck and head. Let us bring our arms up high, fingers together, palms up, and stretch upward. Wiggle yourself side to side. Hands behind your head, open your elbows and stretch backward. You may release your hands down. Now let us listen to a Dharma talk. Please bring your palms together. Kathy, our lay minister, will deliver her talk entitled, "The Gate Opens by Itself." The gate opens by itself beyond resistance and acceptance. Please welcome Kathy. Good morning.
Good morning. So it's Valentine's Day weekend, right? So collectively, we've assigned love to this Valentine's Day, and we have branded it and packaged it and commercialized it, romanticized it, and perhaps we've also idealized it. And yet the kind of love that changes us rarely arrives in heart-shaped boxes. It arrives when we are triggered, when we are challenged, when someone disagrees with us. So in my 20s, when I was faced with a difficult decision or person, I began asking myself, what would love do? So if love was a being standing beside me, what would love itself do? How would love respond in this situation? And I found that that question helped me step back from my own self-concerns. So the hurt, the anger, the fear, even that persistent need to be right. A little distance opened between me and my reactions. And from that distance, I could see more clearly, more compassionately. What needed to be done no longer felt forced. It simply revealed itself. And in that quiet, there was space. And in that space, there was freedom. And at that time, I didn't have a language for what was happening. I just knew that when I asked myself that question, the tightness in my chest softened. And the familiar story of me, the one who was struggling or the one who was wronged and so on, simply grew quieter. So on Valentine's Day, what do all the candies say? We have a very familiar little phrase on our candies. Be mine. Who said that? Thank you, Hannah. Be mine. We all know this, right? Yet the more we cling to me and mine, the narrower our world becomes. But when our grip relaxes, compassion naturally arises. And the heart grows larger than the story. So this is a distinction between a love that binds and a love that frees. The Buddha taught the foundational root of suffering is ignorance to the nature of reality. And from that ignorance, we develop attachment to things we like and aversion to things we dislike. When we cling to, I am this, every loss becomes suffering. When we cling to, I am right, every difference becomes conflict. And when we cling to, I am awakened, every moment of unawareness feels like regression. And in order to cling to an identity of me and mine, we need to reject one simultaneously. So these three, Buddha referred to them as poisons. These are greed or clinging, aversion, and delusion or ignorance. And they are in a continuous feedback loop. Attachment and aversion arises from the belief in a separate self that can possess, hold, and defend. But when we see that there is no fixed self, attachment loosens, life flows, suffering relaxes. We love without clinging. We act without protecting or defending. Let me tell you a story. So many years ago, on a hot summer day, I was outside with my boys, and they were little. And we were all in our bathing suits and running around. I had the sprinkler going. It's just a very simple, sweet family day. And then suddenly a car pulled into our driveway. A woman and a man stepped out, and even though it was a very hot day, they were completely clothed in many, many layers, head to toe. And they had a Bible in their hands and some pamphlets. I hear laughter. So I knew that they were of Jehovah's Witness faith. But let me tell you that I had never before met a Jehovah's Witness. I had never spoken to a person of that faith. But when I saw them, something in me tightened. I had an aversion to their very presence, built on a preconceived notion. A discrimination built on my own ignorance. I was also, honestly, embarrassed and uncomfortable being in a bathing suit. And I felt very exposed and a little bit trapped. And so I sort of sat on the porch and I tried to cover up as much as possible. The woman, her name was, let's call her Betty, she handed me a pamphlet. And on the back was a question. Who do you think Jesus is? I was arrogant. So there were 4 choices. Number 1 was a nice man. 2, a prophet. 3, a fable. Or 4, the Son of God. And I stared at it for a long time, or what felt like a long time. When I stared at it, my mind spun and tangled. I didn't want to offend them. I didn't want to give the wrong answer. I didn't want them to think less of me or not like me. So all the thoughts going in my mind. And I didn't want to seem naive like I thought that they were at the time. And then suddenly, for a moment, everything went black. probably because of the bright sunlight. But within that brief halt to my incessant thought, I heard a voice as if I was being reprimanded in my mind. It boomed. And that voice said, "Who do you think you are?" And I was struck. I felt dumbfounded and silent and broken open. I did not know. I did not know anything. Moreover, I did not know why the Bible had lasted for centuries. I did not know why its stories, confusing to me sometimes and often anger-inducing, had become part of life. Before this, I believed that if there was a God, that God's book would only be filled with loving and gentle stories. I believed this, even though the truth was that I learned more from the stories that frustrated me because they revealed what I did not want to become. They showed me in their own way what God was not. So in that silence, I no longer felt the need to reject the book, the religion, or any religion in order to defend my own story of being right. I only needed to pay attention, to be still, to open up to the truth as it is, reality as it is. Ram Kir, the Indian mystic, said, "A God defined is a God confined." That moment on my steps shattered my ignorance. It freed me from my own confinement. And the next week, when Betty showed up at my door again, I simply opened the door wide, invited her in. And I spent every week thereafter, 1 day a week, learning the Bible from her and discussing it. And you'd think that would be the end of my story, right? Happily ever after. I won the battle with my ego. We talk about that, battle with our ego. So I opened up my heart to my true nature. But that's not exactly what happened. Because in time, as she taught me, one phrase started to enter my mind. I was more open than she was. Therefore, I was wiser, more spiritual. From that one thought, our talks became burdensome. They no longer were freeing. So I felt like I did the work, I accepted. Look how open-hearted I am. Look how right I am. I know more than my teacher. So in Won Buddhism, we call this foxy mind. When the front door is closed, the ego will take a side entrance. So each time we grasp, we feed the story, reinforce the ego, believe in our own limitation, and close the gate to our own awakening, true self. And we define God. We define, I am only this, when in actuality, we are without a separate self, without limitation. So Master Sotasan, our founding teacher, he gives us clear direction on how to practice in our moment, in our daily life. And we read this almost every Sunday. Right? This is the 9 essentials in daily practice. He tells us that these 9 essentials are not simply about reading the words. Rather, they are intended to help us gather them in our hearts and assess them in our minds. In Korean, mind, maum, is our heart mind. It's one mind. Our heart mind that directs our lives and every single choice we make. So we review the condition of our heart mind, our maum, once a day. And each time we are faced with a sensory condition. So maybe, would you open your booklet to page 6? So we're checking this perfectly precise guidance. We check in this moment. Is our mind disturbed? So in a state of aversion or attachment, judgment, are we making active progress in our belief, our zeal, on and on, questioning our dedication? Are we readily teaching? Are we readily learning? And so on. Because it is in the moment that we're in, the here and now, that we need to check and decide. Do we choose an obstructed view or a right view? Are our thoughts sound or are they diluted? And he continues to tell us that we need to check our mind until our mind needs no checking. And I kind of want to put this another way, briefly, bear with me. So we need to be brave enough to stop chasing the light and let everything go dark. I'm going to say it again. We need to be brave enough to stop chasing the light, the becoming, and let everything go dark, just for a moment. Just stop before we choose, I don't know, before we look. To be brave enough to be still and pay attention. To not be the love that binds, but be the love that frees. And we will eventually find that the light of who we are then has no choice. The sun rises of its own accord. The gate opens on its own. This is effortless effort. Now, our 9 essentials are somewhat similar to our Lord's Prayer in the Bible, something I learned from Betty. So Jesus is also telling people how to pray. And he says, not just in repetition, not just in words, not out loud in synagogues, not for everyone to hear, but to go within. Go within your closet, go within your room and shut the door. Check your heart, mind, your ma'um. He says, do this. Our Father who art in heaven. You may know this. You may have a version to it. Bear with me. Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So we go quiet and still in reverence and surrender ourself to allow reality as it is, our true nature. Our mind that is originally free, like in our 9 essentials, from disturbance, delusion, and wrongdoing. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. So clear thought produces wise action. Cause and effect. When we act out of a clear mind, when we stop in the middle of our aversion or our clinging, then our choices are clear and wise. Our choice is to produce grace. We have no choice. So the last story I want to tell you is an old story from the Zhuangzi. It's the foundational text of Taoism, one of them. And it's named after Master Zhuang. And it's about a frog who lived at the bottom of a well. And the well was his whole world. And it was cold in the summer and warm in the spring. And when it rained, the light shimmered on the water. And above him hung a perfect circle of sky. And the frog would leap from brick to brick. And he would look up at the sky and think, this is all of heaven. This is everything. And one day, a sea turtle from the Eastern Ocean came by, and he peered down the edge of the well. And the frog saw him, and he said, come down. Come see this wonderful well that I have, this wonderful space. The turtle tried. He stepped in, but his foot got caught. And so the well was too small. So he backed up, and he rested his foot on the stone, and he gently said to the frog below, have you never heard of the ocean? It stretches beyond measure. Its depth is without end. And the frog fell silent, not because he was defeated, not because he was foolish, but because his narrow walls no longer confined him. And all of us know this silence. The moment when we realize we've been defending something small. The moment when we notice the tightness in our chest when someone disagrees with us. The moment when we recognize the foolishness of judging another person based on their appearance or mannerisms. When all they want is the same thing we want, this, to be loved, to be this love. So let me ask you, what would love do? So bear with me and take a moment to close your eyes. It's this moment. Imagine you may have someone in your life that you feel is you're struggling with, or a situation you're struggling with. And imagine a being standing beside you. This is love itself. What would love do? We're not looking for the nicest answer. We're looking for the answer. The answer should arise that has no obstruction, no attachment just to our self-need or concern. And that answer is often immediate and clear. So maybe this holiday isn't about romance at all. Maybe it's about noticing. Where do I, or and how do I hold on to my identity and create the story of me? Where do I need to be right? Where do I feel the urge to protect myself, defend a me? And just for a moment, imagine what would happen if you didn't. Not fixing, not performing, not proving. Just letting the mind grow quiet enough to feel what is underneath the defense. Because underneath the defense isn't weakness, it isn't inaction, it's trust and tenderness. And that tenderness found in the moment we pause, we stop, we go into our closet, is truth. The truth of who you really are, the truth of no separate self. And there's freedom. And it's simply here, now. I will end with a quote from Rumi. He gives us a gentle instruction. And he says, "This being human is a guest house. Every morning a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness. Some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all." So maybe open the door widely. Maybe that's the real Valentine. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kathy. So whenever I hear you say some Korean words, that makes my heart smile. And she said the word 마음, which means mind, right? And mind can refer to several different concepts. Many times in your culture, it is thoughts, right? But it can be heart. And today, I think it can refer to our true nature, which can be expressed as love in the spirit of Valentine's Day. So thank you for sharing your love talk today. And she also said about essential teachings of One Buddhism, and that's page 6. And actually, to me, it's kind of action plan, what to do with our mind, right? And also it has deep teaching, the essence of the Master Sotaesan's awakened the heart. So let us recite this teaching together, page 6. Essential Dharmas of Daily Practice. 1. The mind is originally free from disturbance, but disturbances arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the equanimity of our true nature by letting go of disturbances. 2. The mind is originally free from delusion, but delusions arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the wisdom of our true nature by letting go of delusions. 3. The mind is originally free from wrongdoing, but wrongdoings arise in response to sensory conditions. Let us restore the precepts of our true nature by letting go of wrongdoings. 4. Disbelief, greed, laziness, and ignorance, with belief, zeal, questioning, and dedication. 5. Let us turn resentment into gratitude. 6. Let us turn dependency into self-reliance. 7. Let us turn reluctance to learn into willingness to learn well. 8. Let us turn reluctance to teach into willingness to teach well. 9. Let us turn lack of public spirit into eagerness to serve the good of all. I have an announcement. The first one is about Yongsan Stay program. So the birthplace of Won Buddhism is called Yongsan, located in Korea. And this year, in May, this Yongsan Stay program will be held in that heart place of Won Buddhism. And I think it's a unique opportunity to deepen your practice and to make also pilgrimage there. So next Sunday, Reverend Yu, he's back now with us. Through his talk, he's going to share more about this program and the value of pilgrimage. So this is the flyer. You're welcome to take one with you. And, throughout this service today, my heart was like delighted and excited. Do you know why? If you were with us last week, I gave a talk and I mentioned about this person, and then I introduced this person's son, right? So I'd like to introduce a special visitor who has joined us from Korea. He has been walking this path with me for more than 30 years now. As a lay practitioner, he knows what to do. So please welcome my brother, Mr. Lee. Oh, I think he prepared a few words with us. Go ahead.
Thank you, Ginger. Give me a chance to speak here because I'm a brother of her. Hello, everyone. It's a pleasure to meet you. My name is Lee Yong-han from Korea. I'm delighted to be here with all of you. And I'm the one Buddhist in Korea living in Suwon City. Suwon is located in the southern part of the Seoul. And I'm truly honored and grateful to visit the One Dharma Center and to meet the Juksan Jongpopsa님 and many Gyongunims and all of you. My son came here 2 weeks ago, and probably he introduced himself, and I thanks to the Sai to become a friend of him. And many Koreans want Buddhists want to be here, but many cannot. But I have a good chance to be here. I'm very happy. I was lucky to already. I'm very happy anyway in front of you and and thanks again. I joined today's the Dharma service, inviting me. Thank you.
Good job. Not bad. So please, after the service, take a chance to, talk with him. He is very social person. Lastly, One Dharma Center has become a wellspring for people from all walks of life. So thank you for your practice, not only through your meditation, but also through your generosity. So I'd like to give you a gentle reminder that giving is also a form of practice. There are several ways to support this community. Should you feel moved to do so, you may offer cash, or you may become a monthly sustainer through your bank. Please open your booklet. Now, page 9. Let us end our service with the morning prayer song. Dharma Kaya Buddha fourfold grace. I begin a new day in your presence. Today full of health and with peace of mind. May I walk along the path of the Buddha. Dharma Kaya Buddha fourfold grace. I begin a new day with your grace. Today gratefully and with gentle words, may I live in harmony with all those I meet. Dharma Kaya Buddha fourfold grace. I begin a new day with compassion. Today, making the world a more loving place. May I do all that I can for one world. We look forward to continuing our practice together next Sunday.